Hey everybody, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Kristina. Hope you had a good Christmas. Looking forward to the New Year's. Hoping for more subscribers in the new year. I had asked for a Christmas miracle. It did not happen. Hell, it didn't even come close to happening. Those of you who have subscribed, I really appreciate it. If you have a social media page or something, tell the world about little old me. I've been here for a year and no one is watching my channel. Sorry, can't help it. I started to compile how many books I'd done and I lost track. So I'll have to go back. About 15 different series. Started with Krista Davis and the Diva series and JD Robb and Janet and Laurel and Sands and Sparks and Thompson's Counterfeit. We will be doing Thompson's Gaslight series in January. I plan on doing Patterson in January. But I've probably read over 500 or 600 books this year alone. So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, for December, we're doing my comfort books. And we're working our way to Janet with Dirty 30. We're doing all 30 books of Janet this month. And we are doing my other comfort series, Echoes in Death, J.D. Robb, Eve Dallas. There's over 60 books. This is my favorite. I reread this entire series twice a year. This is the second time this year. But I didn't record the first one. So we're going through it and recording these. I'm a series person. I like to read series books. I like to read about the character progression, get to know what's happened in the characters' lives between books. Just like we're doing Star Trek on Fridays, it's a series. We have character progression. We may solve a story or a plot line for an episode, but the characters go on. We solve a story or plot line in the book, and the characters go on. So that I was doing Flashback Monday, but I had to stop doing it because the decorations on the bookcase. But nobody was watching anyway. So, I mean, it got to me. I was really, really enjoying my Flashback Monday because I was really, really enjoying my Romantic Times review magazine. But I believe the most people that looked at that was two. Me and my hubby and two others, possibly. That's about it. So, as much as I enjoyed those, nobody was watching. Nobody watches. This lady, this MJ Fiction Friends and Fun or something, she posts a video. She gets like 100 views in an hour. I haven't gotten 100 views in a year. I'm trying here. I have no special effects, no special anything going on here. Horrible sound. I can't afford a new computer. I had thought about it for Christmas. But there was no way, food comes first. So anyways, and these are also books I own. I own all of the J.D. Robbs, and I own them all in paperback and hardcover and book on CD. It's a long story. I've spoken about it several times that a few years ago, about maybe 10-ish, I got on this rampage because I went to find, now the newer version is fine. The reprinted version is fine. But the original version is not. If she has an Innsborough bed and breakfast, and the rooms are after her character, she's Nora Roberts too. And so there's an Eve Roarke room there, and you can buy all her books there too in this bed and breakfast. And but years ago, before they had reprinted these, the first, like Naked in Death, Immortal in Death, Glory in Death, Rapture, all those little ones in the beginning. The hardcovers, when she redid them and they did them in mass market paperbacks, they have paragraphs that the hardcovers don't. And the audiobooks have those extra stuff, but the hardcovers didn't. When they did the reprint of the hardcovers, they put the stuff in. but the original one. So that's why for Naked in Death, Glory in Death, Immortal in Death, a few other ones in the first like 10, I will have the hardcover and the mass market and the book on CD. I am an audio person and I love my books on CD. The latest few I've been doing on Audible because these are getting out of hand now. Some of them are up to Outlander's like $80, but you can do it on Audible for much cheaper, and the ebooks are much cheaper. But Eve Dallas is my gal. She's my go-to gal. She's a lieutenant in the New York City Police and Security Department. Her husband is Roarke. Her partner is Peabody, and Peabody's cohab is Detective McNabb. He works in the electronics division. I usually talk about Feeney, but he's not in this. Whitney, it really isn't in this much. Charlotte Mira is a personal friend, and she's the department shrink. Mavis is mentioned briefly. She's her best friend. She's also a rock star. Leonardo is her husband. They're mentioned briefly in this. So is Trina. Eve is deathly afraid of Trina. Her hairdresser is just a thing. She's got some new people in her department, but they're not really mentioned. We do hear a brief mention of Nadine, and we do hear a brief mention of Charles, the former sex therapist who married the doctor. But to get on with this story, I love Eve always bitches. She always complains. She sees herself as a cop. And because of her childhood, she grew up in the foster system. And she had no birthday parties, no social interactions at all. Never received a gift before, like, she married Roarke ever. Well, maybe with Mavis, because she met Mavis at like 2021. So, and she had a really rotten childhood. We won't go all into that. But that does play a little bit of a part in this book. It has a small role, really small role, but it's prominent, and I'll mention it when we get there. But Eve has got this thing with marriage rules. She's always quoting the marriage rules. And like I said, she sees herself as a cop first and then a wife. And, Roarke calls her my cop, and she keeps saying no, she's New York City's cop. And all. Eve has got these hang-ups. But I love this little thing. It's in the beginning of the book. All Eve wanted in the world of things to do, of things to want, was to get out of the excuse for a dress and the ankle-breaking heels she was wearing. She'd done her duty after all, and considered she'd earned a big red check mark on the plus side of the marriage rules column by decking herself out and painting herself up for an evening of playing wife of the business god. Who'd invented the charity winter ball anyway, she wondered. Sane people wanted to stay home in winter, comfortable clothes, when February reared its ugly frozen head. Even the not-so-sane were mostly huddled up somewhere at damn near 2 a.m. in the morning on a bitter night, which was why she had no excuse not to do her marital duty. So then she goes and talks about other things, but I cannot redo these books without sharing them with you, sharing my pleasure with you, sharing the absolute excellence of these. And I got a little surprise here at the end. If you haven't seen this book, this is the first one that starts it, and there's a few others in the future that do it too. But we've got Eve's world in here. What do you think? I've done these a few times, and I don't do them I do them totally incorrectly. So I wanted to show. There we go. I thought I'd show. That's the inside cover of Echoes. So then this woman runs out in front of their car. they take her to the hospital, and they're talking about the situation a little bit. And Eve, I have a very, very low self-esteem. Extremely, massively low. I'm forever picking on my own self for a gazillion different things. And so she's thinking about this. As trophy wives went, Eve supposed Daphne fit the bill. Young, beautiful when her face hadn't been pummeled. Probably an excellent hostess with the event planning bent. Eve wondered, though she was Rourke's first and only spouse, if some considered her a trophy. She glanced at him as he maneuvered into a street slot outside the double red brick townhouse where the Strazzas lived. You didn't get a shiny prize. I'm fond of shiny prizes, he said. Why didn't I get one? Your own fault as trophies go. I'd be in the dull and demented category. Not in the least, but then again, you're no trophy. She got out and navigated from the curb to the sidewalk in the stupid fancy girl shoes. Is that a compliment? It's truth. If I wanted a trophy, I'd have one, wouldn't I? He took her hand, rubbed his thumb over her wedding ring. I much prefer my cop. Aww. And then we're doing the crime scene, and she just finally decides she needs to call Peabody. And Peabody gets there, and while Eve absolutely hates to dress up, she'd rather be in jeans and sneakers than anything else in the whole wide world. Peabody, on the other hand, and her friends, Nadine and Mavis and Trina and everybody else in the world likes to play dress up. And Peabody walks in. The shoes! Holy sacred stilettos! The shoes! Zip it, Peabody. Rather than zipping it, Peabody made a yum sound and stepped into the doorway holding one of Eve's shoes as if it were a priceless gem. They're so awesome, Mag, it's beyond all magnitude, Peabody completed. The pink theme, pink coat, striped cap heavy on the pink fuzzy top boots with her square face flushed pink with awe. Put the damn shoe down. Are those my clothes? What? Oh yeah, we got here just as the driver pulled up with... Peabody squealed again as she finally tore her eyes from the sparkle of the shoes and looked at Eve. The dress! Shut up! Eve snatched the garment bag from Peabody's other hand. Oh, but it's gorgeous! It's sexy, Gantz! It's a dress, and that's not even a word. Sexy elegance. It's also... You got blood and matter on the hem and some blood. A good cleaner will get that out. That is my immediate priority. The dead guy over there, he's an afterthought. And then they do some other stuff. And then it occurs to Eve. Peabody? Sir, snapping to it, Peabody stuck her head out of Anthony Strazza's closet. Do you have the gunk? You know, the gunk that takes off the gunk. To illustrate, Eve circled a finger in front of her face. Cleanser, enhancement, remover. No, not with me. Crap, crap, crap. You look good. Another one of my top priorities. She hates dress. She hates it. And to tell you the truth, I have not worn makeup except for chapstick in probably over 24 years since my daughter died. That's the last time. It was before that, but that was the last time I wore makeup before my daughter died. So, anyways, and a small smidgen of an update. I had to bring this up. In a previous book, Peabody borrowed money from Eve because she saw a street vendor selling sweatshirts at Christmas time, and there was a jiggling Santa and a jiggling Elvis Santa, and she thought that would be perfect for McNabb. He glanced around, his pretty face puzzled. What? Oh, can you turn that thing off? He glanced around, his pretty face puzzled. What thing? That thing on your bony chest. It's distracting. He looked down at Elvis, grinned. Oh, sure, forgot. And he tapped a finger on Elvis's midsection. The long dead king froze mid-swivel. I like these books. I like these characters. You have to like these characters. I like these characters too. So it becomes more and more clear as Eve investigates how much Anthony Strazza controlled his wife, how much she was brainwashed. She was severely brainwashed. And I will have you know, my original co-host was here earlier, and he was very anxious to do this video with me. However, a certain gray child here got rid of him. She controls this house. I keep telling her, she's not one of those, I lost my emotional support cat a couple of months ago, and I've talked about it. He was the absolute, him and his mother died 10 years prior to that. She died of brain cancer. And a brain tumor that her eyes popped out of her head. All right. He gets a clean bill of health at the vet, spent $1,000 on stuff, and he dies the following week. Those be-all, the end-all blood tests don't diagnose brain tumors. But anyways, he was, I could hold him for 2 decades. I could call him. He would come immediately. No hesitation. He would be there for me whenever I needed a hug. This is the I will let you hold me when I want to be held cat. I will come to you when I feel like a cat. There are 2 types of cat. The emotional support one and the rest of them. How is it going over there, dude? Dudette, should I say. She's having a good time there. She's on my slipper. I know, you'd probably rather watch her. Do you watch Charlie? Do you watch Charlie Golden? He's so cute. And the Newfoundland brothers and sisters he's got. And little, I think it's Charlie? Not Charlie. Nikki's the little one. He's growing so fast. My uncle just got a purebred German Shepherd. He's huge. I had a German Shepherd when I was a little girl. It walked me down the block and watched me everywhere I go. Those were the days when you could go outside. He was Sheppy because he was a shepherd. So where was we? So they're talking. Her and Peabody are talking. And more meticulous organizing, so what's out of place sticks out. I think there are some things missing. You can see the Vic had a bunch of awards and photos, or his photo with important types, but whatever was on the pedestal thing's gone, and there's a couple spaces on those shelves. See how it's all precise? Everything pretty much equidistant from each other, except for that glass plaque and the framed wedding photo. I get you. There was something between them, and between them really ugly, and that other ugly bowl. Yeah, we can surmise whatever was there took the killer's fancy. He didn't bother with, say, this throw handmade silk batik and probably worth thousands. And that lamp, it's signed Terezio. That's about 10 grand. For the lamp? Flabbergasted, Eve stared at the triangular gold base, the triangular shade with its white and glass panels. Seriously? Deadly, because Mavis and I went with Nadine to this fancy auction last week, and Nadine bought one. She got hers for 8.5, and I like it a lot better than this one. But flabbergasted yet again, Eve waved a hand. Nadine bought a lamp for 8.5. She got a big new apartment to furnish. How am I friends with any of you? How is this possible? Hers is really pretty, not gaudy like this. Anyway, it was fun to look at all this stuff, and I picked up some things. I mean what they are, not actually picking them up. I was literally afraid to touch anything. What I'm saying is there's a lot of pick and go stuff around here I can spot that's worth bunches. Weird ass burglary that leaves tens of thousands behind with a DB. And they go on to talk about it more. Um, so they question more people. Oh. I have another notation for this chapter. Now, why did I want to say this? Oh, I'm gonna mention this again because it comes up again, and I like to complain. It's fun to complain. Eve's got this really nice auto chef, but she don't know what's in it. She later learns what's in it, but all she thinks is that it has coffee. She has yet to learn all the things that are in her auto chef. So they interview people that attended the party, and since the iCove book came out, more and more people are recognizing Eve and Peabody, and they see Eve and Peabody show up and they panic. They think someone's dead that they know. Sometimes there is, sometimes they're not. But Nadine was the iCove book, and it won an Oscar, and they did a movie, and she's been so recognized. And why did they want? Oh, it's just a brief thing. She walks in. Lieutenant Detective Alice recognized your names. Your homicide. It's not about our children. She's like, oh no. This is a different matter. So then they tell them, and then they learn the Jacko was this caterer to the party. This stuff happened after a party, and they want to interview all the guests of the party. And Peabody gets a hit of like crimes, and they do that. And as the book previously mentioned, it's February. Do you know what happens in February? There's this day. Do you know what's in February? Ad Blims blasted their relentless hype. Their current focus beat the retail drum for Valentine's Day. Eve didn't get it, just didn't get it. Who the hell decided everyone was supposed to go mad with romance and gift buying on some random day in February? Hadn't everybody just gone mad with good cheer and gift buying in December? And some people who shall go not named bought me chocolate for Christmas. I'd have rather had a buck, but they bought me chocolate. And I broke out in pimples and I gained 4 pounds, so now I'm on a diet. I gotta lose this weight again. I bought 2 new shirts for Christmas. This is one of them. Do you like it? However, it shows my roly-poly. See, you didn't see that until I mentioned it, and I'm stupid for mentioning it, but I just feel self-conscious. But I did buy I bought smaller outfit. Because I lost over 100 pounds. Well, not 100, but like 80. And I want to get down another 30. My ideal weight is 30. Then I need some miracle liposuction that I can happen. Hell, I just need to be able to buy food. So I just, they interview some more people, and they can tell Daphne, as the story goes on, it is totally revealed that Daphne was definitely brainwashed by her husband. He controlled her in so many ways, and if she didn't please him or did something she wasn't supposed to, he beat her or he disciplined her in some way. And it's just horrific. He wouldn't let her talk to her family. He wouldn't let her talk to anybody. He wouldn't let her be alone with anybody. And it just gets her more horrific. And it's amazing, terribly amazing, horribly amazing how successful this brainwashing thing is today, in today's world. You hear about it every once in a while. You hear about another case where somebody was brainwashed or abused, and they were made to feel like they deserved it. No one deserves to be abused or beaten or hit or anything. And that's just horrible. But these people are made to believe, these women are made to believe that they deserve it, and they stay in the marriages when they could leave, they could get help, but they're afraid for this or afraid for that, or they're just totally brainwashed, and it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. So then they're doing some interviews, and one of the interviews they do is with the caterer, and he also has some baked goods. And you know how Peabody is with baked goods. Those were seriously amazing sticky buns. Are you taking these into Central? She considered it. Cull out one. You're going to eat another one? No. Cull out one. Roarke's earned one. See, for you, every day is Valentine's Day. Oh, yeah, I'm a romantic fool 24/7. Just call one. Hell, call two. One for McNabb. Seal them in evidence bags, and find out where Lone Star Rentals is. You gotta love it. You gotta love Peabody. She's so awesome. She really is. She's the best. So they visit Mars. Eve has some other detectives in her bullpen, do some interviews. They talk to a detective about light crimes. I won't go into reading it. But apparently when she comes to the bullpen, she sees Baxter. She calls him David. Ooh, romance. Roarke shows up. He was working up an EDD with McNabb. And first hit, she doesn't put it together, or at least she doesn't put it together on stage. One of my authors calls when stuff happens in the book, it's on stage. When stuff happens off the book, or you're told about, oh, this happened last week, and you're told about it, you're not actually present for the current action, then that's off stage. But if it happens on stage, that means it's in the book. I'll do it. I've been up in EDD with McNabb and wish there was better news on that front. I had a feeling. I haven't had time to put my board and book together, she began when he swung his feet off her desk and rose. There's pizza in the auto chef. She stopped dead. There is? There is today. I'd have sex with you for that alone, she told them and smiled. I can lock the door. Later, she said. She doesn't know what's in her auto chef. Later on, her auto chef is spread around. So she does a walk through the crime scene. She talks to Daphne again. She goes home. She has a little bit of a dream. And this, I like Rock is always trying to. Eve would live on pizza, burgers, soda, beer, and chocolate. That would be Eve's thing. Yes, ma'am. Can I help you? Come here. Smoke. Come here. Hello. Hello. So they're having a meal. She let him choose the meal. It seemed fair, even resigned herself to eating whatever vegetables she found on her plate. And since he set it all up while she worked on her board, she drafted herself to do cleanup. Comfortable in flannel pants, a sweatshirt, and skids, she stepped back to study the board. You might wish there were more details, but that's a comprehensive murder board at this early stage. Maybe. Now she walked away from it to the stylish new table by the new balcony doors. What's for dinner? He lifted the warming domes. Her heart sang a happy tune when she saw steaks, salted skinned potatoes. And what are those purple things? Carrots. Carrots are orange and purple. He didn't mention the turnips and the cauliflower in the mix. He knew his quarry. Why would someone dye a harmless carrot purple? They're not dyed, they're natural. Have some more wine, topping off a glass, and try them out. Purple! So they talk about murder and other stuff like that. They talk about this thing. Then, I don't know why. It turns out that the murderer dressed up in character. It turns out he's been dressing up as the devil to murder somebody. He dresses up as Dracula to murder somebody. He's been wearing costumes to wear masks and stuff like that, so he's not identified. And he's trying to talk about this to Rock, and she says he's taken a cocktail dress from each Vic, though I haven't confirmed that with the Strazzas hit. They're more a souvenir, but it's a weird one. A fancy dress, shoes, and an evening bag. Costume. Eve poked Rourke's shoulder. What I'm thinking, not for him. Different body type, so I think we're after a cross-dresser, but maybe for a woman or droid, or just one of those dead bodies the stores use for display purposes. Mannequins. Mannequins, darling Eve, not dead bodies. They're mannequins. I had to share. I love sharing these books with you. I hope you're reading along with me. One of it's just I have this expression when you need to fill in there whatever your appropriate word is. It's just fantastic. It's just boring. It's just horrible. It's just the way it is. So then we have our annual. We really don't need to go through this. You can read it for yourself. But they're cute moments. She pulled into Central, started toward the elevator, and spotted Jenkinson. You couldn't miss the tie, not even from space. With his coat open, it glowed toad green with, perhaps not coincidentally, bug-eyed frogs of yellow and blue hopping over it. You could light a cave with that thing around your neck. Never know when you might end up in one. She talks to Mira, and it's an interesting. Usually, I don't mention the Mira conversations because they're really case involved. But Mira comes in, and her hair has been done, and she says, "Did you and Mr. Mira head for the sun too?" "No, but that's a compliment. I decided to add some more highlights. Get through the winter doldrums. Actually, Trina talked me into it." Eve goggled. "You're going to Trina now?" Eve is petrified of Trina. Absolutely petrified of this woman that does her hair and makeup. I am. My hairdresser moved to Brooklyn, and Trina, though I know she can be opinionated, is excellent. Opinionated, Eve mused. She'd have used pushy, scary, and in your face, and she couldn't believe she was talking about hair anyway. Alright, now, Eve often gets these remarks incorrect, and we wonder sometimes if Eve is getting them incorrect on purpose. Eve angled her head. Good, that's good. Either way, if Mira's right, we're looking for a schmuck with an Edison thing. Edison? Like Thomas Edison? Who's Edison Thomas? I mean Thomas Edison, the inventor, Peabody explained. The light bulb? No, for Christ's sakes, this isn't about light bulbs. Like the sicko guy who married his own mother, then whined about it. After a moment's confusion, Peabody's own light bulb went off. That's Oedipus. I'm pretty sure that's Oedipus. Edison, Oedipus, platypus, whatever. You gotta love Peabody. So one of my absolute favorite scenes in this book, it's not long enough. It's not long enough. It needs another page. It could be several pages. It needs to be longer. Much, much, much longer. But it's not. It's left up to you to fantasize what happens next. Because we're not told. And when this first came out, we all talked about it and hemmed and hawed and complained and bitched and come 9 years. Yes, we know it's true to character, but we still wanted the extra. We wanted the extra. Eve didn't feel it was necessary, but we, the fans, wanted the extra, and we did not get it. We did not get the payoff. Like I said before, the Icove case, the cloning case. Nadine wrote the book. It got made into a film. It won Oscars. She won tons of awards. It was a bestseller. Now people have seen the movie and people recognize Eve and Peabody. So they're in this building and they're interviewing people from light crimes and other stuff like that. And Eve I wrote the wrong page. Where is it? We put in a bid on the Icove project. Sorry, what? Nadine's first book. We tried to get the rights to it, but it was above our reach. Congrats on the Oscar nom. Okay, they're announcing them this morning. It's up for 7 Oscars. Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Editing, Best Sound, and the Holy Grail of Best Picture. You didn't hear? I'm a cop, Mr. Knightley. Kyle, and you're the Icove cop. No, I'm the NYPSD cop. So then she's talking to Peabody, and Peabody's eating it up in makeup. And then, you will cherish this. She strode down on the elevator, ignoring other passengers who seemed buzzed on Oscar talk, until one of the women stared at her. The woman's eye popped. Oh my God, you're Marlo Dern. No, I'm not. Obviously undeterred, the woman continued to chatter while digging in her rhino-sized bag. I'm such a fan. I just have to have a picture with you. I'm not Marlo Dern. Link already in hand, the woman frowned at her. Are you sure? Absolutely. You could be her stand-in for the Icove agenda. I mean, you look just like her Eve Dallas character. Are you her stand-in? No. Eve escaped the elevator, took another down to the garage. Would you have not liked Eve to tell her who she really was? Would you not have liked that scene to be longer? Would you not have liked Peabody to be in that scene too? Peabody would have told her that they were the real deal. They weren't the actresses, they were actually the real people. We know Eve had to get out of there. She couldn't wait to get out of there. She didn't care about the woman's feelings or nothing like that. She just wanted out. And those of us who loved this scene wanted it longer, much longer, longer. This is slow. Longer. Tomorrow or yesterday. That is just my. They spend the next few chapters interviewing people, and then I like Peabody, and Peabody and Eve have different views on the weather. We can try bringing him into interview today, but this storm's now predicted to dump 15 to 18 inches in the city, and the wind's going to take it into blizzard territory before evening. Who decides that? Eve demanded, sorely irked at having the weather interfere with procedure. Who decides this is the blizzard line, or 15 to 18? Why not 16 to 19? The weather wizards, Peabody suggested. Wizards my ass. A real wizard would say you're getting hammered with 15.6 inches because I say so. It's going to be worse in the burbs, and I don't know why, Peabody said quickly, but they're already advising people to stay off the roads, barring emergencies. They can say whatever the hell they want. Nobody listens to them. So, so then we have a little. I like Somerset. You like Somerset, right? We all like Somerset. Early and together, Somerset observed as Galahad pranced over to slither between two sets of legs. I expect the city will be shut down in another hour or two, Rourke told him. You shouldn't plan to go anywhere. I don't. I hope the two of you will also do the sensible thing and stay inside. Easier to reschedule a ghoul party than a murder investigation. Eve tossed her coat over the newel post. But I'm working from here until I'm not. She started up the stairs, stopped. Don't go outside, it's cold, windy, and slick, and continued up. Was that actually a concern, Director? Rourke asked as he walked up the stairs with her. Sure, his bony ass slips in the snow. We've got to deal with it. It gets buried in the snow. I've got an unattended death to wade through. Just trying to avoid the mess. Eve contacts Daphne's sister, discovers a whole additional information against Mr. Strazza. There's a little interaction between Eve and Rourke. They talk about their childhoods. She's remembering her father and the situation there. And they have a special dinner up on the terrace, and it's an enclosed terrace. And Eve says she feels like she's in a snow globe. And they have a pasta deal, which was never wrong in her book. Not spaghetti, but the two things in sauce with cheese melted over it. Baked penne. So they go through that. But I wanted to mention, she brings in Trueheart, and I had another question here. Eve contacts Rourke, and I'm wondering why she doesn't have a direct link. With a curt nod, Eve strode out. She chose glides again to give herself time to settle down, then pulled out her link. Another admin answered, but Roarke's sort of magnificent carol usually proved more flexible. Good afternoon, Lieutenant. What can I do for you? Hey, sorry, is there a way I can speak to him or that he can tag me back as soon as possible? Give me a minute. So saying, the screen went to a waiting blue. It took that minute and a little more, but Roarke's face came on screen. She heard a babble of voices in the background and a number of whooshes, thuds. Lieutenant, where are you? She asked. At Andian, just outside what will be the recreation center. He's building a school for the needy kids, and it's going to be housing and school and dormitories and a garden. It's going to be fantastic, and we've talked about it in a previous book, Concealed in Death, I believe, and we will be talking about it again in later books. So that was just my thoughts. I always wanted to know why she just didn't contact him on his link, why she went through channels. We do the vending machine things again, and like I said, I'm still waiting for Eve to figure out that she's got stuff at her own auto chef. She talks about the vending machines and Cop Central and how bad the food is, blah, blah, blah. Some of us have said Roarke should take out a contract with the city and improve the food in the office, in the vending machines in Cop Central. But Eve doesn't believe the cops in her division deserve the good food. She says if they served good food, they would all get fat. And she doesn't want them to get fat. And they're cops, and they're supposed to suffer. I don't know why, but that's her whole view on the whole thing. That they're cops, and they need to suffer. They're cops. That's what means being a cop, is suffering with bad food from vending machines. Don't know why, but that's her total thing. And Roarke's been trying to work on it for a couple of years now, and it's still not. It's slowly getting there, but it's not working. But Roarke surprises her with one more gift. Oh, and they've got the new bedroom installed. We haven't seen the new office yet, but we've seen the new bedroom. So that's described in here. If you mentioned in the last book, they were going to redo the bedroom and they were going to redo Eve's home office. So those are the two bigger updates. So she had a moment with Daphne today. She had a moment because Daphne had Eve was beaten as a child, and came out with a box wrapped in silver paper. I think this is the right time. She looked at the box at him. Come on, wasn't it just Christmas? No, and this is something like the blocker. I think you could use it at the moment. She could hardly bitch at him when she just blabbered all over him. So she took the box, lifted the wrapped lid, and nearly blubbered again when she saw the little music box. When she looked at him with exhausted eyes, stunned and filled with emotion, Roarke knew he had chosen well. She lifted out a young girl's music box, not a fancy, important one, just a little white box with gold swirls and the dancer twirling on one leg, arms curved overhead as the music played. It's a common thing, Roarke began. No, it's not. It's not. Just a minute. She fought back tears, even if they were hot with gratitude and full of the miracle that she had someone who loved her this much. It's not common, she managed. It's beyond special. Not my style, right? Not cop style, but even when I bought it, I wasn't sure if it was for you or me. For us, then. It made you sad when I told you about it. You could have bought something slick or fancy or glittery, but you knew it would be right. It would have looked important, but it wouldn't be special. You took an ugly little memory and you turned it into love. I can't tell you. She looked at Breath and watched the dancer swirl. What's the song? A 20th century classic, Tiny Dancer. Fits. She moved to him, wrapped around him. It means I can't begin to put it here. Not cop style, but it fits here. And he gives her the present. Oh, good Lord. Good Lord. There's a huge bug in my house. You'll have to excuse me. Please hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. And don't forget to check out Echoes in Death. I've got to go get this bug. Have a good one. Bye.